Hello, hello, hello. Hooligan Soccer Podcast coming at you on this wonderful Monday morning. Champions League quarterfinals special with myself, Gary Stryker, and as always, just returned from the DMV, the Hooligan. Good morning, Hooligan. How are you?
I mean, it's Easter Monday. I mean, I do feel that we should at least acknowledge, there is a major religious holiday that has occurred.
There is, yeah.
Good, and next week is Orthodox Easter. So for those who want to delay a little bit, you still can. If you missed Easter this weekend, you can always celebrate it next weekend in a more Fabergé egg style, as opposed to
the Orthodox
yes, as opposed to a chocolate egg style.
Very good, as opposed to or the chocolate bunnies. They never explained why chocolate bunnies and Easter eggs and how the bunnies and the eggs kind of sort of come together. But it's one of those little.
Do you want to know?
Go on, let's hear it.
Because I actually do know the history. That Easter is nothing more than a revisited fertility, right? It's a common fertility holiday that occurs around this time, not long after the solstice. And the rabbit obviously is a symbol of fertility, and so ergo the rabbit has been going into it. But young chickens, hence peeps, rabbits, eggs, all of those things are signs of renewal and rebirth. So much like that, let's get into the quarterfinals of the Champions League, because it is in a way a rebirth after the international break where
I'm generally blown away by that. Thank you for that fact. That's I've learned something today. That's very good. Yes. Well done, Hooligan. Wow, the Hooliganepedia as well.
Would you like to know why the Orthodox Church is separate from the Catholic Church? We'll save that for another podcast.
I know about that. Yeah, we'll do our religious. I do know the reason for that. Yes, right? Well, that was great. Constantine left and went over to Constantinople and started up his own sect of the break away from the Catholic Church. Is my understanding. Right?
That's not it.
Okay.
Actually, Constantine was a Roman Catholic. It did not happen until the Council of Nicaea.
Mm-hmm. Correct. Yes.
That happened later.
Okay. Well, okay. Let's get back on topic and back on track.
Back on topic. Yes. So we won't go into it.
Okay. So quarterfinals of the Champions League going on. Obviously, it goes without saying. For all of our super fans listening and writing into us, thank you for all the feedback that we were getting. It is most appreciated and most welcomed. As always, hooligan-soccer.com is where you can go and get more insights, musings, ramblings from all of the creators, fans, journalists as well, and writings that we have.
We do keep it strictly to soccer, not religion. So
this is true. This is true.
Unless your religion is soccer, in which case,
it is.
Please
it is a form of
come
religion.
into our house. Come worship at our temple.
And also as well, we are in the process as well of creating a dedicated World Cup show, which is the FIFA World Cup, a global showdown. So we are going to start recording group stages and breaking that down. So please look out for that. Like, follow, subscribe, and all those wonderful things. But details to come as we put those in the can. Anyway, let's get into it. So quarterfinals of the Champions League. Yeah, it's been some weeks since obviously we had to revisit this. Let's start chronologically and get into it. First game's on Tuesday. We've got
you've got four fixtures, right? Quarterfinals.
Exactly, yeah. First one is Real against Bayern. I do recall last year recording this with you, and this is where you start groaning and moaning because you sort of, this is the Hooligan gets a little salty around this time of year because it's the same teams repeating in the same competition at the same stages, as I seem to recall. But let's get your opinion.
It is. But I mean, that's no different than any other Champions League. And at this stage, everything just becomes magnified. So I actually think this is a fantastic fixture. I'm glad that these two pulled each other because it means one of them won't be moving on. I mean, that's the best part about all the quarterfinals. One of them is not going to move on.
Yes.
But you're really looking at a potential. This really is in many ways a potential finals, right? And just happening a little bit early. So I'm thrilled. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be an absolute humdinger of a. It's going to be an absolute humdinger of a game, and. What is it? The European Classico, some people call it, right? Real Madrid, Bayern Munich.
I haven't heard that one, but they're probably two of the most dominant teams in Europe as well, outside of the English sort of cohort. So yeah, it's definitely
and certainly in this Champions League, they've been quite strong. But and there's a big but here. Real, I do believe, is the more fragile of the two right
Agree.
now.
Well, I watched that game. Actually, I had it on in the background, waiting for the Chelsea game on ESPN Plus. We're waiting for the Chelsea Port Vale game to come on as well.
Mallorca
Yeah,
loss?
and so I had it on the background. They lost.
Right?
They were 1-0 down. They were 1-0 down. We saw it, and then they equalized, and then Mallorca got a 93rd minute winner.
Right.
And to your point, they did look fragile. They did, and they had all the stars on there as well. Trent was playing. Obviously, Mbappe was playing. Vinicius was on there as well. So they weren't sort of like saving themselves for Bayern. They were playing for it because they also need to sort of go in the league as well. Barcelona are sort of dominating La Liga. I think Barcelona are sort of like, look at that, 7 points clear as well. So they are fragile. Obviously fired a manager already this season as well. They've got Arbeloa in there who's kind of just minding the shop by the sounds of it until they go and find a bigger name at the end of this season. I mean, just looking at it and then looking at the Bundesliga, I mean, Bayern have only lost one game this season in the league as well. It's always the case. It's not a surprise yet.
They have their goal differential is also higher than their point total. Is that still the case? For most of the season, their goal differential has been higher than their points total.
Look, you're exactly right. Look at that. It's been bang on, both on 73.
Right?
Goal diff plus 73. They've scored 100 goals this season.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. That is
a machine, German efficient
at this
machine.
Late in the season to have a goal differential higher than your opponent's total is unthinkable since they moved to the 3-point scale, right?
Yeah, wow.
I mean, it's obviously happened in the past with teams back when a win used to get you just 2 points.
Yeah.
But Lord Almighty, I'm not exactly sure if anybody can stop Bayern. I do think that in this Champions League, they are my favorites at this point. If I was to go in and you were to say who is going to win, I'd be like, oh, Bayern, hands down, without even second guessing it. And you could list any number of players who are going to do it, because I'll never forget that game where they just beat up on a team. Kane wasn't even playing. They scored 6 goals.
Yeah, look at that. Wow. Look, Kane is in play. Why wasn't Kane playing? Is he injured, or is he just resting him, or is he celebrating Easter or something like that?
Because when he does show up, he just scores. All he does is score. When he's not there, they still score.
Yeah, he's got an ankle injury. Had an ankle injury as well, so it'll be questionable whether he actually starts tomorrow against Real. But I mean, the fact that they had Michael Olise on the bench and then he came on and scores just speaks to their strength and depth. Jamal Musiala's back in the game. Alphonso Davies was on the bench, came on and got an assist.
I mean,
and they've got this. They've got that young German as well, who I really like, Leonard Carl as well. He looks very, very good as well. Yeah, he looks very good. I mean, in this particular game, I do find this is because there are 2 legs. It does get very interesting on a from a strategic standpoint. They're at the Bernabeu. Let's start. Yeah,
Bayern, I think, is going to look at this one a little more conservatively. They're not necessarily going to be going all out. They're going to save it for the second one. When they're in front of the home crowd, where they really want to put their stamp on this, they're probably not even going to be concerned if they go down 1 goal.
They know
right? They don't have to be. So I'm, and Real doesn't have Courtois, right? He's out. They don't have Rodrigo. So with those 2 out, it's like, okay, it's like they're not missing a lot, but they're just, Thibaut Courtois could be a factor.
Oh yeah, he got a thigh injury, didn't he? Yeah. Oh, Rodrigo's done his crucius as well, so he's not even going to the World Cup. Rodrigo as well.
No, Rodrigo's done. He's done for the season. Yeah, he may be back next fall.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay. Oh, shame. That's not good. Okay. Okay. So yeah, the conventional wisdom would say is that Bayern are going to be the strong ones here and should go in and dominate over the 2 legs. However,
over the 2 legs, yes, I definitely think so. In this fixture, though, Real could take this one.
This is Real Madrid's competition, as we know. They prioritize this. There is something special about this team, this club in this competition. And they're going for it. I mean, just looking at that sort of team as well. I mean, that midfield of Camavinga and Tchouaméni as well. And then you've got Mbappe and Vinicius up front as well. Trent's obviously on form. Valverde is also as well. Federico Valverde has been an absolute sensation. He really has this whole season. He's been great. So it's going to be an interesting one. I agree. I think the second leg will probably be the sort of the box office entertainment match as well, because it will get into a basketball style match where there'll be some back and forth, provided that there's not like a 3-0 smash in the first game and then it sort of takes it to the second leg, right? So this will probably be, I would imagine this is a hard one to call, because I mean, Vincent Kompany and Bayern have just completely built this ruthless machine that just churns out games, goals, and points, right? It's absolutely amazing. It really is. Okay, this will be a good one, really good one to watch. I'll definitely be preferred to watch this one. Anything else to say on this one, Hooligan, before we go to the next fixture on Tuesday? No, I think that's it. Yeah. Okay. Sporting against Arsenal. And I know where we're going to go with this, right? Which is we're going to talk about Arsenal's choking situation of losing to Southampton on the weekend.
What else? What else is
we
there
called
to
this?
say?
We called this on that last when we did the FA Cup podcast.
Yeah. Yes,
this could happen. This could happen. Do the business, guys. Just grind through, and they did not get it done.
We are now talking 4 has gone to 2, as in they're fucked. That was for all the English people out there. And if you are only listening to this on and not watching the video, you can use your imagination. But yeah, no, listen, this is Arsenal is in big trouble right now. I hate to say it. And I think way back early on, even back in 2025, I said something, and this is not my own quote. This is actually my son. My son said this to me. He says, "Never underestimate Arsenal's ability to bottle it."
Need to fuck this up, yeah.
and my God, the nipper is turning out to be correct, which means that he'll be completely insufferable, more so than he already is. But yeah, they've now dropped 2. That's 2 of the 4 titles that they could have won have now been dropped, and in very quick succession, which makes this fixture so critical. I wouldn't want to be within 100 yards of Mikel Arteta right now, because he's got to be putting out such vibes of I can't even imagine. It's got to be like walking across a shag carpet in thick socks, right? You just know the static electricity is building up, and if you come anywhere close to him, it's going to be like bzz, bzz.
Yeah.
It's awful. It's got to be, and for Arsenal fans, it's got to be awful. I mean, there's got to be a pit in their stomach going, ooh, listen, I'm a Crystal Palace fan. I'm used to us losing and getting knocked out of things. That's normal for us. Arsenal, like, every time they get close, something happens. That's demoralizing. That's demoralizing.
If you'll permit me for a second to sort of go off topic slightly, but it's Masters week this week, right? And as you know, I'm obviously a big Masters and a big golf fan as well. And it's the psychology and the mentality of it is more as important as the sort of the actual sort of physical side and the actual sort of making contact with the ball. And this just feels like it's just a head sort of like spiral where it's just going to get worse and worse. And this is where the mental toughness, they talk about how can you sort of overcome your demons in a way, but they just seem to be, they're kind of, these expectations have been set. In fact, they're on for the quadruple. They can do it. They're dominating. They're running through. They keep choking. They keep tripping up. Now, the reality is they should win the Premier League. And if they do,
I think
and if they come out of the season just with the Premier League as well, it is still a resounding success for them as well. And they've jumped the hump as well.
That is
but
correct.
Now it's crept in, and the mentality, and we're all asking the question is, well, they've choked on 2. You could see Sporting putting one over on them and sort of taking this game and getting ahead, getting a 2-3-1 advantage maybe here as well, potentially. And then all of a sudden they're going to get inside their own heads. And then all of a sudden does that creep into the Premier League as well. And imagine a world in which Pep Guardiola and Man City steal this and do the domestic treble where they get the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, the Premier League.
Let's spin up the fantasy podcast, right? The fantasy podcast a little later. But it's too early. It's too early to say that. And as much as I like to talk
Achilles and
smack
dream.
about Arsenal, I really do think that the league is virtually theirs. There is still, according to Opta, I believe it is a 1.2 or 1.3% chance that they could blow the Premier League.
Wow. Okay.
Which
So
means there's still a chance.
Yeah.
And that's all I will say.
That-
But first,
if-
I think, I'll be honest with you, I think they're going to be taking this game extremely seriously.
Yes.
I think I think Sporting, they did good. They qualified in the top 8. I know that statistically they were all looking fine. I just didn't really believe they had the backbone. Then I saw them play against Bodo and I went, they have the backbone, because they got embarrassed up in Norway. And they were able to turn that aside, ignore it, and put the beat down on them. And it was a gritty, gutsy win from them. So why not? I think they have got to like their chances. Now that one X factor is you've got Gilchrist going home, baby. And
Yes.
so, right, this is I think a really interesting subplot. You have to assume that the Sporting people know how to play him. He's not unknown to them. So, you have to think that Gilchrist, he is in fine form right now. Not necessarily, he scored for Arsenal, but also for the national team. So he's coming in red hot. He's the Gilchrist that they signed. The Gilchrist that was putting up double-digit goals for Sporting is now back. I think this is the greatest subplot, which is, will it be the Gilchrist show, or will some other Arsenal player step up, or will Sporting somehow manage to get in his head and create a doubt? They're in Lisbon, correct?
Playing in Lisbon.
Because Arsenal's the higher seed. So yeah. I think, and if anything other than a win, I think Arsenal could be in trouble. They really need to win this opening leg to give themselves the breathing room that they're going to need in London, because as supportive as the Gooners are, if they go into the Emirates next week and they're down a goal and it doesn't kick off immediately in their favor, that crowd could turn on them really quick.
Oh, yes.
Really quick. And that's what they don't want.
Here's the interesting thing as well. What also Arsenal will have is this weekend coming up, because there's that game in hand in the Premier League, Arsenal are not playing. So they have a bye this week.
Well, so does Sporting. Sporting moved their weekend fixture as well.
They moved it as well. Okay, so Arsenal know that they don't have any weekend fixtures, so they can go all out. The interesting thing is then the following week is then they have Man City to play. So you can have a world where Man City kept that game in hand. And then I know we're sort of leading Premier League here, and this is Champions League, but this is the fixtures, just looking at the fixtures on the 19th of April. So yeah, this weekend they don't play.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, and then they play Man City. So this is going to get spicy and entertaining as the games and weeks roll on.
This is a really important fortnight then for them.
Yeah, they've got it's always been, and it seems to be every single important fortnight for them. So yes, I agree. I think Sporting probably will come into this with the wind at their back and say, look, let's get out these guys. They're gettable. Again, Arsenal, just got boys. Don't choke. And if you'll permit me to dream for a little bit more and go back to the fantasy angle, there is a world here where Arsenal could blow all 4 competitions and Spurs could get relegated. And well, that's as a Chelsea fan, that's a win. That's a incredible season.
Listen, we both support London clubs of different persuasions, and as appealing as that sounds, wow, it would be a very dark Premier League for London, huh? And Millwall comes up.
Yeah, it's possible.
Ouch! Look out! I mean,
anyway,
arse over tit, man. Ouch!
Yeah,
that is crazy. Crazy.
That's enough bashing for Arsenal as well. And it must be this is where Arteta will
Like I
make or
said,
break his career.
miserable. Absolute. It's
Yeah.
got to be absolute misery.
You've got
Just
to
the
go in there with
nerves are
positivity, guys.
yeah.
Yeah, it's nerves. Yeah, just it's that there's isn't it? There's something they say is that the subconscious doesn't hear the negative, in the thought. So if you're like thinking, "Don't fuck it up, don't fuck it up," your subconscious hears, "Fuck it up, fuck it up, fuck it up," right? So it's that sort
I
of
I'm not a Freudian, so I'm gonna
yeah,
have to take you at your word on that one.
yeah. So we'll see. But again, it's how they frame it and how they deal with it. Okay, let's move on to Wednesday's fixtures, which are also going to be equally as important and exciting as well. We've got an all Spanish affair.
Yes.
Barcelona are hosting Atletico, which, I mean, Barcelona look to be dominating La Liga, playing well.
They're the other team. They're the other team that I would say. I mean, I do think I don't know the way the competition bracket is set up, but a Barcelona Bayern final would be great.
Barcelona El
I don't know
Clasico,
if that's something that can happen, but it's
Barcelona
uh,
Real final as well could also potentially happen, assuming Real get through
yeah,
Bayern.
I don't assume that. I'm sorry. I just
Yeah,
don't think
yeah,
that's going to happen. But yeah, let's say so. Barcelona Atletico. What I like about this fixture again is that one of the two won't advance, right? So you've got 3 Spanish teams out of 8 in this division. In fact, Spain is the best performing country in UEFA right now in terms of
yeah, yeah,
its all the European competitions because they have 6 teams currently active between the Champions League, Europa League, and Conference League. Right? England have 5; they're second place, and then Portugal, Germany have 3 each. France and Italy have 2, and then there's some, some loners from Greece, the Netherlands, and Ukraine. But this, I don't see Barcelona screwing this up. I really
no,
don't.
I
I
agree.
think they're too deep. They're too good, and Atletico's been a roller coaster team. I would say they have
Yeah,
been uh, when they're like almost ready to come off the rails, but hurtling stupid fast, and
yeah,
then really just rattling and sometimes tossing bolts off of it. Listen, they are never dull to watch.
yeah,
Ever. They're never dull to watch, whether it be from sideline shenanigans or on-field heroics or anything. Atletico is an exciting team, and for them to not make it all the way would be somewhat disappointing. But then there's Barcelona, who have proven, they have shown that they can be exploited, right? That high line defense can be picked apart. There's a lot of things that you can do against Barcelona to win. You have to think that Simeone knows every single one of them, probably has 1 or 2 that nobody's seen yet. That's just his nature. So, I think, yes, this is must-watch television, right? This is the one you gotta be like, "Yeah,
yeah. Well,
it's gonna be thrilling."
the area, if I could just sort of also fill in the blanks and just looking at the form while I was watching the Real Madrid game on this weekend, I also sort of had the Atletico game on, and Atletico played Barcelona this past weekend in La Liga,
Oh, they
and
did? Oh, I didn't even know that.
Barcelona won 2-1. Yeah. And so Marcus Rashford looks on form. He looks very, very good. Lamine Yamal didn't get the assist, but there's a clip going around where he played just like a sort of David Beckham-esque wonder pass from his own half and sort of threaded it. Unfortunately, it didn't quite get the goal, but he's also sort of, so having those guys sort of on form, and then you've got Lewandowski through the middle as well. No surprise, of course, there was a red card. Yes, Gonzalez got sent off. Shocker as well.
Yeah.
Not
Well,
Diego Simeone
but
this
he's
time.
still eligible for this competition because
He
the
is
red cards
still
don't carry.
eligible.
Yeah.
Yes, this is true. This is true. And then the other thing as well, in terms of injuries as well, it looks like, Barcelona, they're missing Rafinha and Frankie de Jong. Those guys are both injured and absolutely out of it.
Yeah.
I think there are questions over
But
whether
Barcelona's been playing against injury this entire season, right?
this is true.
This is not surprising, and yeah, and that's not just De Jong and Rafinha, Bernal, Christensen, right, and Araujo.
Yeah.
They're so yeah, it hasn't impacted them before. They seem to have a really, Flick has a really good ability to sort of move people around, and they're just versatile, and I think and again, this is a two-leg battle.
Yeah.
All right,
Barcelona
maybe
first
this,
leg. Yeah.
yeah, maybe
Yeah.
this one doesn't, Barcelona, ironically, is not the top, so they're playing at home first. Okay, you know, they might take
Yeah.
this one, but I think overall they should be able to do it. Although I will say that if any match was likely to go into an extra time scenario after the second game, I think it's going to be this one. This is
I,
probably the one that could be the closest.
This probably, yeah. As we know, we're not on sort of focused so much on the betting, but I will guarantee that Diego Simeone will, at the very, very least, get a yellow card in this game. At the very least,
You know, yeah,
it's pretty. It's about as
yeah.
just as sure as night follows day. Diego Simeone
Yeah,
will
exactly.
get booked in this one.
Exactly.
This is guaranteed. He is going to fly off the handle on this one. Okay, yeah, it will be an interesting one. But the game I do want to watch on Wednesday, which I think will be the most entertaining, is PSG are hosting Liverpool. This one is going to be a goodie. This is going to be a goodie. Obviously, PSG absolutely demolished Chelsea in the previous leg. Liverpool have been huffing and puffing and spluttering, and I don't think Arne Slot's going to make it through this season. Sorry, make it to the end. Sorry, make it to the beginning of next season. I think they'll make a change because I don't think he's sort of delivered. And yeah, I think this is my fear for Liverpool here. They're going to get embarrassed here. I think they're going to get embarrassed, particularly if you've got Kavicha playing, Dembele and Doué up front. Those three are ruthlessly lethal, and particularly as I mean, the way Man City put Liverpool aside this weekend and just put 4 past them.
No, I'd say that. Yes, and I'm glad that you mentioned it because that was going to be my comment was normally I'd give Liverpool a little benefit of the doubt because they generally and historically have shown up for these big important fixtures. But they did not do that in the FA Cup. I mean, they really, and it wasn't even that. It was a managerial decision to kind of throw it and put a different lineup in. No, their starting lineup did not do it. Just did not perform.
Yeah, particularly the defenders. They look so just out of practice and out of shape.
And you're right. This is a big concern. Before I watched, didn't even finish the game. I turned it off after they went up 4-0. I was like, no, can't. Yeah. There's no way back. Before that match, I might have given Liverpool, and said, hey, yeah, you know what? Let's not be so hasty. Liverpool has a tendency to show up. Not anymore. I think this is PSG's all the way.
Yeah,
and not just over the 2 legs. I think they win both. I think they win both fixtures.
This is going to be easy. At least there's going to be a 2-goal spread here. There's going to absolutely be a 2-goal spread here for PSG,
and it could be higher. And it could be higher.
As I say, at least, and I agree. I mean, if you're Kavicha, Dembele, and Doué, and you're just licking your lips saying, "Guys, let us have these guys." This is it. Yeah, let's get at it.
Got to be going. Please give me Van Dijk. Please give me Joe Gomez and the rest of them. I mean, come on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, they are looking very good, and sort of just again, PSG seem to do this where they just start coming into form at the right part of the season, at the end of the season, and they just click into that extra gear and they just start going through. Again, they're back up on Ligue 1 as well. They're sort of 4 points clear as well, and a game in hand on top of Lens, who have done a very, very good job of getting into that position of second place.
I mean, please, you got to give Lens credit just because they made it interesting.
Yeah, they did.
Right?
But this is where PSG get, for the remainder of the season, the remaining whatever it is, 6, 7 games of the season that they've got, they're going to come on strong here. And yeah, I think, so we could have a world where if we could just sort of dream a little bit and look through who we think could get through to the semis. So we're thinking Real would probably get pushed out by Bayern.
Yeah, Bayern goes through.
Yeah, I think Bayern. You're thinking Sporting probably get past Arsenal. Let's just imagine that for a moment. I think Barcelona.
Okay, well, I'll entertain that thought. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Barcelona probably get through Atletico, and then PSG get through.
I would agree. Yeah.
Yeah, and then PSG get through Liverpool. So you've got PSG, Barca, Sporting, Bayern in the final 4, which then leaves,
you've got 4 different countries represented. That's awesome.
That's good. Yes,
I like that.
Good, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would very much enjoy seeing something like that. I mean, I'm a little nonplussed that you're betting against your own country here, but
Well,
that's all right. They're not your club, so I can
yes.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
But I'd also not, just remind viewers that it's not just about Champions League on Tuesday and Wednesday. We also have Europa League and Conference League quarterfinals happening on Thursday. So um, folks should be aware that those are going on and make some time to watch that because, it's not quite the same pedigree, but it's still
Who have you
pretty
got?
damn exciting. And
What a club.
there are some clubs that are active there that are a little eyebrow raising. I mean, Nottingham Forest, who
Against
haven't been
Porto.
doing much in terms of their league campaign and are on their 12th manager of the season.
Against,
They
yeah.
have almost as many managers as they have games played.
Yeah.
Is
And
they're still
Porto,
alive.
yeah.
They're
Yeah.
still alive in the Europa League. So they've been doing really well there. In fact, come to think of it, there is one of those games is on Wednesday. Betis versus Braga. You've
Look
got
at that.
a
Oh, yeah.
cross.
Interesting.
You
They're
got an
covering.
Iberian conflict going on there.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Villa plays Bologna, which will be
Bologna,
interesting. Bologna is one of those interesting teams that are always a little rough. Forest plays Porto, and then you've got Freiburg versus Celta Vigo.
Okay, Celta Vigo, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I find that interesting. Two clubs from the peripheries of their respective nations all going after each other. I'm like, okay, it's fun.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then, of course, for Conference League, right? Not
wow.
that.
Yeah, look at
I know.
your beloved Crystal Palace are playing against Fiorentina.
You better believe it. I might not be rocking the kit today, but it's because I didn't do any laundry. But it's they're still there after barely, and I mean barely, getting past Larnaca. Oh God, it's like their nemesis team. They managed to book themselves a fight against Fiorentina.
Yeah.
And so, I give Palace, on a good day, Palace can beat anybody who's in that Conference League type bracket.
Yeah, they've been I mean, Fiorentina, they're okay. I mean, sitting 15th in Serie A as well, and okay
Palace
form.
is sitting 14th in Premier League. So, like I said, I mean, it's a perfect spot, right?
It's pretty good.
I think Fiorentina is a decent poll. I'm glad that they're playing them and not Strasbourg. The last time that Palace played Strasbourg, it was a disaster. Although then Senior was coach at Strasbourg. It's different now.
It's different under new management.
And I do think that playing Shakhtar's always a little fraught. They're a strong, good team, but they've got a lot of emotional wind at their backs. And I mean, Palace are just happy they're not playing anybody from Greece or Cyprus right now. It's like, oh God, please no. But no, there's still lots of great soccer for everyone to watch.
Beautiful. Wonderful. And then, of course, and then a little tournament this summer as well to look forward to and lead into as well. So we will be on that as well. Super. Wonderful. Well, Hooligan, that brings us up on time. As always, thank you very much. Exciting stuff. Again, hooligan-soccer.com. Go check us out. Like, follow, subscribe. We'll be back later on this week. Thank you.
Peace.